finding out about it a little bit more. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It says BR, British Railway. NE is a northeast line that took off out of London and serviced the northeastern part of England. And this would have been on a platform of a train station, and people would have checked their watch, pocket watch, against the time and when the train was coming. And these were, and the British Railway today still runs on schedule. Unlike a lot of things here in the States, even in the United States earlier on, they were on schedule also. We got a lot more lax over the years. But this is what they would have used as a timekeeper for the railway. Again, Northeast Run, 2648. You'll probably be able to find what station this was on or in at some point. And that would have been an indication of what platform it would have been on this whole run. Okay. It's a mechanical clock. You see the pendulum, and you can hear a tick. The ticking is emanating from up in here. It's a series of gears releasing power through what we call an escape wheel and verge, transferring that power to the pendulum. Once a week you will wind the clock, you insert the crank on the winding arbor, and you can see how the weight comes up. Oh, wow. I usually stop before I hit the top, so about that level. It'll run for a week on a winding. Setting the hand on this clock, you can set the hand by moving the minute hand forwards or backwards. Since it's what we call a timepiece, it does not strike. You can go either way. Matter of fact, I'll defer to y'all. Y'all probably have the time over there on the terminal somewhere, and we'll set it to your time.
Can we put a striker in it?
No.
No.
Adjustment for timekeeping. Someone will be in charge of this. Even though Jeff, my business partner who had repaired this clock, had keeping good time, anytime we move a clock, it throws it off. To adjust the clock for timekeeping, we'll be turning this brass nut. It's on a steel threaded rod on the bottom of the pendulum. Okay. I just sort of stop the pendulum and steady it. Notice how my wrist is up against this sort of body of the clock. The principle is the higher up this, it's a cast iron disc that's brass coated. The higher it is on the rod, the faster it's going to run, and the lower, the slower. To make it run faster or slower, you turn this nut here to the right or left.
Lower the slower.
That's it. So turn it to the right to make faster, left to slow down.
Okay.
Awesome. If the pendulum disc isn't quite, there's a movement here. If the pendulum isn't parallel to the backboard, hold on to the rod and sort of get it where it's pretty parallel.
Okay.
It doesn't really show, but it's sort of nice to be more parallel.
Wow.
Give it a swing to restart after you've made your adjustment, and how much to turn the nut. We usually say turn that nut about 1/2 of a revolution for each minute it is off in a day's time in a 24-hour period. Okay. So someone's going to have to sort of work with it and try to get it to keep in good time. Okay. When you start the pendulum, you want to give it about that same swing that it had under its own power. Anytime you adjust it here for timekeeping, you always come up here and reset the hands, so you start off on a fresh foot. These were set weekly. In other words, there was, Douglas mentioned the telegraph. The telegraph would have sent a signal, they'd come out and reset the clock weekly. Okay. Because it will not keep quartz accuracy. It'll do very well, but it's not going to keep quartz accuracy. Yeah. And really that's it. One thing I did notice, I was sort of manipulating this hour hand. The hour hand is just pushed on with friction. That's why I would say just move the minute hand only. The hour hand will always follow along. But maybe in winding, if you ever should bump that hand, you may have to push back on that to seat that hour hand on what we call the hour hand cannon. But if you ever have any question, you always let us know. Probably would recommend keeping the key somewhere else. When inserting the key, just go all the way in, straight in, and take it out. This is sort of wallowed out from the key being in there, through the years, but I probably would recommend keeping it separate. Okay. I've gone on and left the crank inside the clock. It's right there for it. I say that. Where did I put it? It's in my pocket. Put the crank in the bottom of the clock, because the only time you'll need that is when you open the door to wind the clock.
Awesome.
So I will recommend to you to
Thank you, sir.
keep that. If you ever need another key, don't hesitate to let us know. Okay. Sturdy on the wall. Y'all did a good job on hanging. Just sort of steady to the bottom. Okay. And anytime you have a question or problem, you always just call us. We'll stop out.
Sounds